Hello, Mr. America and all the ships at sea. This is your man, Tim Roberts, 820. The ugliest man in social media. Okay, so I know I'm a little behind the times on this one, but recently somebody was talking about Civil War. Kathy Griffin, who is a comedian, one that Trump doesn't really like, and she doesn't like Trump. And she was saying something like, if you want a civil war, vote Republican this election. If you don't, vote Democrat. Now, I'm not sure what she means by a civil war, because the last civil war we had in this country wasn't really a civil war like in the traditional way. It was more the South was trying to break away from us. It was more like a revolutionary war. They were saying, we don't want to be part of what you're doing any longer. We're breaking away. But since it was, two, it's part of the same country, they're breaking away from the North. It's a civil war, I guess, technically, but not a traditional civil war that you would see, the countries. But I don't know I mean, does she really want a civil war? Does she really? Who's going to start this civil war? What are the parameters? What if she? Why is she saying this nonsense? Because nobody's. We don't even talk about stuff like that. I don't talk about stuff like that. I mean, I'll have a discussion with people about it, but I'm not saying, oh yeah, we're going to go out and we're going to take. It's not going to happen, folks. It just won't happen because what we've got back then, they had, front loaded, flint stocks and muskets, and you had cannons and whatnot, but the stuff we had, the technology and the ways and the armaments that we have now are just so technically advanced that it's just we would wipe each other out, really, basically. Or we could wipe each other out, but realistically, if you look at it, Democrats really don't have a prayer because one, they're outnumbered. This is a center right country. This is not a country that is, you know, more Democrat than Republican. It's center right, which means there's more Republican type people than there are Democrat type people. I think there are. I think a lot of the numbers that they have are skewed. They're quoting wrong data, old data. They're just outright lying about their base and people in their party and whatnot. So that's a factor right there. You're outnumbered. Number two, you're outgunned. I mean, most of the guns are in the hands of Republicans, conservatives. That's a right that we totally defend. We've been fighting for that one for decades now. Because you guys want to take it away. And we're like, no, you're not going to do that. Sorry, that's not going to happen. And the left, Democrats are outnumbered or outgunned probably 25-1, 25-30-1. In other words, 25-30 guns on our side, you have one gun on your side. And that's probably a low number because I know a guy right here in New Jersey who has a dozen guns himself, and then with thousands of rounds of ammunition to back him up. So, and that's in a very restrictive state of New Jersey. You go to places like Texas, these guys have sheds and garages full of guns and ammunition. Storage spaces full of it. The basements are full of it. They're ready to go, and they're chomping at the bit, for something like this. Now, in terms of training and military training and whatnot, there's more people on the right, more Republicans have been in the military than Democrats and people on the left. Because people on the left don't like the military. They hate the military. But people on the right, we love the military. And there's more of us that have been in the military than people on the left, that's for sure. So more of us have, military training, strategy training, tactical training, and things like that. More of us have that going on than you guys. Excuse me. And say there were no guns. It was just hand-to-hand combat. Okay. There are more people on the right who I think are involved in UFC, MMA, boxing, karate, kung fu, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, self-defense in general. There's more of us doing it than there are you guys on the right, on the left rather. So if it came down to that, now you got some outliers, some guys who might be really proficient with their hands and feet and whatnot, but once 10 or 15 of us, get a hold of that guy and tear his arms and legs off, there goes your outliers, I mean, we're dominating you in many regards, in most regards, when it comes to civil war, it comes to fighting, comes to having actual battles and whatnot. And as far as, being prepared, prepping, we invented prepping. We invented it. We have expanded it. We have turned it into a huge industry in this country. You guys don't prep for anything. Most conservatives, they go out, they'll spend a few extra dollars and buy a few extra cans of soups or some dry beans or things like that, so they have it on hand so that, that they run out. They've got that little extra to back them up. And they've been doing that for, years and decades. There are whole companies that provide entire meals for a few months, 6 months, a couple years, whatever, and you're not going to run out. More of us do prepping. More of us learn about prepping, read about prepping, actually get together with other people and have groups that do prepping, and so that they're ready to go, so that they're, if something does happen, they're ready to go. They have a bug out bag, which has, a quick supply of things, fresh clothes, and matches, maybe a little bit of food, this, that, other thing, jibber jabber stuff. And if we have to go a moment's notice, boom, like a Minuteman, boom, we're ready to go. So and a lot of us, like we really get into survival type things, and shit hitting the fan type situations. We write about it, we talk about it, we prep for it, we teach others how to do it, and show others how to do it, and say, hey, listen, you can go over this store and buy, for $100 you can get all this stuff and you'll be supplied for 6 months, or go over here and you could buy, stuff, and we're doing that. You're not doing that. Now, maybe some of you on the left, you may have some money, you may have a bunker you can go to that you've paid for. Maybe you and your friends have. I don't know what you're doing. But, what are you going to do when you come out of that bunker? I mean, what's going to happen then? Because eventually you're going to have to come out of that bunker. If you go start in that war, you go start in that civil war, and then you go hide in that bunker while everyone's out here shooting and killing each other. We're not going to be very happy with you when you come out of that bunker. All right? And you'll be the first one to get taken out. And I can guarantee you, if it went really, really far and got really, really bad, your bodyguards, would be leaving you and going home to their families to protect their families and friends and neighbors and homes. They're not going to stay with you unless you're giving them tons and tons of money, or unless they don't have any kids, or they don't have any family or anything like that. So, I don't understand why people want to go this civil war route. It's not a pleasant thing. It's not good at all. I remember back in the 90s in Rwanda, there was I believe it was a civil war, and 800,000 Rwandans died, and either through a single gunshot wound or by machete. I mean, that's a horrible way to go, to get hacked to death by a machete. That can last anywhere from a minute to, say, 10 minutes. They could, depending on how much you're fighting back, depending on how much, you're still able to run away, but they're chasing after you, and they're hacking at you. That could last quite a long time. Do you want to suffer like that? Do you want to really want to have a war like that? I certainly don't. So use your heads when you're talking about stuff like this. Understand that it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. It's just not. It's just not. It's going to be really bad for you. because you're outnumbered, you're outgunned, you're outmatched, you don't have the training, you're not having prepped like we've been prepping, and that's just the way it is. And if you don't want to accept that, well, then that's your fault because you're the one's going to end up dead, not us. And I would think if it was a civil war, it would be over in about 2 weeks, with a great number of liberals dead. I hate to say it because we've been holding back on the right for so many years, and we get more angry and more angry and more angry because you guys keep trying to take things away from us that we feel we're being having our rights taken away from us, which I know it's what you're doing. That is the end goal. Is to you guys want to abolish the Constitution and set up some sort of Communist Manifesto style government. But you got to understand, communism, Marxism, socialism, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You think it's going to be equal? You think it's going to be protecting people and helping people and it's bringing people up? No, it's not. It's going to be tearing a lot of people down. That's what it's going to do. It's going to make people equally miserable. You go to countries where socialism has been tried, and it just doesn't work. It just does not work. Period. End of story. It doesn't work. So, all right. Let me get going here. Take care. Bye bye.